my mom's side. She was born in Canada. That family generation, my grandfather was CPR for the railway, he was a contractor. So the history of the railway in Canada was also the history of the Chinese here. So being born here, she had her Chinese dishes, but her signature December dish was turkey stuffed with classic bread stuffing. Sage, celery, onions, a sausage broken up. In contrast, on the Wong side, they had their turkey stuffed with sticky rice, nuo mai, and Chinese mushrooms, donggu, and lap cheong. So I think we'll have a taste of that later on, the sausage. There was that sort of meeting of East and West in the culture, in the food. Growing up in Chinatown, Bill in particular, the eldest, it was a chopsticks and rice bowl culture that they grew up in. And it wasn't till there was an invitation by the Anglican church camp to Gambier Island. So not only was it an experience of tasting the outdoors and the mountains and the sky and the ocean, but for the urban kids, other than that rural experience, they learned about sort of Western table settings and Western etiquette. So that was the first time they had knives and forks, breakfast foods like porridge, jam, and peanut butter. So it was an opening not just for the outdoors, but an opening for Western style food and eating and etiquette. Right now, Dad's 90 years old. 10 years ago, he had sore joints, arthritis. His digestion was poor. And the doctor had prescribed medications with many side effects. Now, for myself, being trained, among other things, in Chinese medicine and healing, I recommended to just prescribe healing foods. He had started eating brown rice. He stopped eating the processed foods. He found he was able to walk well again. When he was taking the medications, one of the side effects was loss of muscle mass. When he talked to the doctor, I was at the YMCA, I was lifting 25 pounds. All I could lift is 12 now. What's wrong? What's happening? The doctor didn't connect the side effects and said, well, what do you expect? You're just getting old? That doctor has now passed away. My dad's 90 years old. He's still alive and kicking.
Norm Lloyd, that's his name.
So on the other side of the family there, my mom 7 years ago was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. The medical perspective is, after you've been diagnosed, it's downhill all the way. You take the Western medication, there's no cure, there's no hope. It's a slower downhill slide. Mom had no energy, she pulled the sheets over her head, didn't want to get up, had no energy. Dad said, you have no gas in your tank. You have to get up, you have to eat, and then we'll go for a walk. Now, part of the prescription on my mom's side is before it was Campbell's soup was the real vegetable soup out of the can. My dad and I would be chopping zucchini and beans and tomatoes and onions and potatoes from the garden. So there was the whole food and the canned food. The transition was mixing the fresh food with the canned food. Now we cook together as a family, we prepare as a family, and we stay healthy as a family. One of the foods that has helped is the herb turmeric. It's a plant. Called that curry food. Coconut oil. It has two pathways to open up to the cells. So when the regular foods have been a block on a cellular level, it's been a big help for Mom. In a Western sense, eating those foods are no help. In a holistic sense, Mom's a medical miracle. She's changed her diet, she's changed her lifestyle. She's eating brown rice with Dad. Now, Dad's never heard of macrobiotics, but he's a brown rice evangelist. You've got sore joints? Oh, well, all you have to do is change your diet to brown rice. Oh, you can't sleep? You got poor digestion? Oh, well, he's prescribing brown rice for everyone. So all those healing foods, they're really gifts of nature. And my childhood memory is the Chinese tradition is tasting those gifts of nature. When we were younger, fresh fish meant going down to the fish docks. And we'd watch the shrimp boat coming in. And we'd be buying shrimp right off the fish boat. Down by the Rogers sugar refinery, down at the docks there. When we wanted fresh fruit, we would go down with our friends down to Richmond, picking blueberries, strawberries. Mom would always say, "Don't eat it from the bucket, we're taking those home. You kids eat it from the bush." Those were the days that Richmond had rows of ditches. You had to be careful backing the car out from the farm. You didn't want to have to call a tow truck. That was where the tadpoles were. We picked with a little scoop net, picking the tadpoles up. The Taoist philosophy in Chinese philosophy talked about being in nature and knowing nature, and certainly being able to pick and taste, that's being part of nature. The trees and the plants, they don't have a lot of choice. They're either growing in the dirt, or they're stuck in a crack and they're growing up, or they're up on a mountain cliff and growing up. They don't have a lot of choice like the people do. They can't go shopping, they can't go to the vitamin store. So their metabolism has built in with those antioxidants, those healthy things that we have the opportunity to eat right now. So when Dad said, "Oh, what else can be a help? What else that's natural can we do?" Dad started a Taoist yoga 2 or 3 years ago. Mom started yoga at the community center 1 hour a week. Once a year, the master of Sundo, Taoist yoga, comes to Vancouver. We go up to the mountains of Lillooet, and he's amazed that these two, Mom in particular, goes from the 1 hour introduction seniors class to joining us in the mountains. Waking up, I'm ringing the bell at 4:30. Practice starts at 5. 2 double practices later, we're starting to prepare breakfast at 7:30. Now, very auspicious. This September when we were up there, it was the time of the Mid-Autumn Moon Festival. It was coincidentally the Wong, we rotated, so everyone cooked one meal. The Wongs happened to have Saturday night because the cook that was scheduled for that, she was scheduled to pick cherries and do her canning. So do I mind changing days with her? I knew it was Mid-Autumn Moon Festival, so I said, oh, no, I'd be pleased to do that. So garden vegetables, we made garden fried rice. Symbolism, there's a lot of symbols that we see in the big universe and that we eat. So the full moon that's coming up over the mountains, fruits of big round pomelo, the Chinese grapefruit, was the centerpiece of the dessert plate. Star fruit cut up on across the grain so that you would see the star shape was surrounded around the big moon. Persimmon is also big and bright and symbolic, and representing all the stars. Pomegranate, so all the dozens and hundreds and thousands of seeds representing all the stars in the sky. So we were able to share some of those traditions, not just tonight, but up in the mountains with other groups as well. And I wanted to share the last thing, being in nature. The moonlight was so soft against the black night sky. The soft moonlight let you see all the little trees, all the ravines. It looked like the mountain was glowing in the night sky. But we were sharing the food. So we were a small family there. We're a bigger family here because we're sharing. So, you know, the theme of Heart of the City Festival, touching hearts, dim sum, literally touching hearts. So from Eastern philosophy, Chinese medicine for me is like applied philosophy. So for the energy of the heart, the color red is a healing, nourishing color for the heart. The flavor of bitter is a healing flavor for the heart as well. Chinese language, the heart and the mind are the same energy. So for all of us, we're only able to open our heart because we open our mind. So even though I'm talking about Chinese philosophy tradition, the next taste sampling you're going to have is basil with tomatoes, representing that healing flavor we're sharing and the healing colors. That choice was also made so that you know it's not just Chinese food and Chinese plants that have that benefit. It's really a universal principle. So you know what people think of as Mediterranean food. We open the door through the Chinese gate, I'll call it. But it's really like sharing universal principles. And so I'm going to walk over to the kitchen and share some of that healing. The best healing is the company of family and friends. The second best is the food. So we got the top two right here tonight.